Hello and welcome to a demonstration of MItzvah Tools for tutors, clergies, and synagogue administrative assistants and executive directors. We log into MItzvah Tools by going to the internet and logging onto the web at www.MitzvahTools.com, entering your unique username and password. You can click the checkbox in order to remember the password. Click Login. MItzvah Tools will take you to your synagogue's website within MItzvah Tools, your synagogue account. You'll see your username here and the level of access that you have. This is an administrative level of access. If you were a tutor, it would say tutor access. That becomes important later on as it has to do with the level of access that you have to setting up the settings on the site. Here we are on the tutor homepage, and when we log in, we can see all of our students in a pull-down menu here, which are set in alphabetical order. You can select any student just by choosing their name and choosing select, or you can scroll down and see a bit more information about the students. Here we have Daniel Goldberg. He's a tutor. His tutor's name, his rabbi's name, his cantor's name. If he had a partner, there would be a link here to that partner's account. A little status light indicator, red, yellow, green, just like you would have for a stoplight. Green means that the student's doing well, yellow is a caution, and red tells us that we have some concerns. The student never sees this light, but it's there for you in order to get a quick indication of how the student's doing. Student picture, which can be uploaded, a bar mitzvah date, time, and location, a little flag if the student has submitted some materials for you to review. We would have here the date of his next meeting and summary information on the meetings that he has attended. So we'll select Daniel Goldberg by choosing select. That brings up what's called the assignments page. You can see it here, and we can see the title here for Daniel Goldberg. Here again we see that yellow indicator light. If you click on it again, it'll change from yellow to red, and if we click on it one more time, it'll change now to green. That light appears at the top of every page. Here we have the prayers that that Daniel is working on, and feedback that you can give him on those prayers. So let's say he just worked on Asher with you, and you can say, nice job on this one, and then click Save. It's an important feature in MItzvah Tools. It's consistent throughout the site that after entering information into a field, you need to click Save for that table. After working with Daniel, we can then go and create a note for the meeting that we just had. Nice session with Daniel. He is coming along nicely. It'll spell check for you also based on your browser. If you choose admin only, that note will be saved but only viewable to people with administrative level access. If you don't click that box, it'll be viewable to both those with administrative level access and to tutor access. Again, when you're done with the note, click Save. It's going to store the note down here, and it's going to time, date, and user stamp the note. So here is the most immediate or most recent note taken, which is the one we just typed, and all past notes are stored down here. A similar format is used for assignments. At the end of working with a student, it's helpful to then give them assignment for what they're supposed to work on next time, and so we can say, go home and work on the Vehafta. You can date that assignment. It'll default to today's date. You could even give a web link if you wanted to go with that assignment. And then in addition to that, you can click on the paperclip and you could attach resources to that student's assignment. Let's do that now. It's going to bring up the resource bank, and we can see here a variety of resources, both local resources. These are resources that you have uploaded into your own account for your synagogue, and global resources that we have within the system. So though we had said Ve'ahafta, we'll attach the avot in this case just to demonstrate how this works, and then click Attach. And now we can see that that assignment has been stored, and it's actually been sent out to Daniel. We can see the attachments, the web link that came with it. And then next time when we meet with Daniel, we can give him feedback on that assignment by just typing that feedback into the feedback field. And then, of course, clicking Save. From this page, let me take you through a few other areas. The contact page. This is where we store contact information for the student and their parents and their family and their emergency contact. It's also where the username and password are located. If you wanted to email that student, you could email them directly by clicking on this link. It would open up their email account. We calculate their date, their age, based on their birth date. You can upload a photo here simply by browsing for a photo on your computer, clicking on that photo, and then uploading it to the site. You can also enter in hobby information. Again, anything that you enter into this box here requires that you click Save here. Similarly, for parents' information, you can have as many parents as you would like stored within the system, or guardians for that matter. You can put notes unique to each of those within the system. If you wanted to add another parent, you would simply type it into the blue field that's consistent throughout. Choose whichever they are, indicate any information that you have, and then a very important and powerful little checkbox here means that any email that you send to Daniel will also go to Moshe, his father. And you can click that for each individually of the various parents that you've uploaded. This link here also allows you to send an email directly to that parent. Sibling information can be stored here, and emergency contact information stored here. If we go now to the prayers page, here we have the service information where we have the secular date, month, date, and year, time of the service, which will then calculate the Hebrew date, put in the location. It'll also look up the Torah portion and then populate that Torah portion field. And it'll populate the Torah portion field. Currently on this one we've selected override Torah reading. We'll come back to that in a moment. But if I turn that off, it's now going to read the default settings, which is the traditional reading for Parshat Noach. Here we have the assignment of who the rabbi is and who the cantor is, and again, if there was a partner, that information would automatically be input here. When you're done, click Save. Let's talk about this Torah override function. You have the ability within MitzvahTools to follow both a traditional annual cycle, full Kriya cycle of Torah reading, or a triennial cycle of Torah reading, or to use your own luach using the override function, where the values for each aliyah are determined by you in a separate table in the settings area, which we'll get to in a moment, and that will then populate that information every time you choose Parshat Noach. Here we're set to the default, and then it gives you the information of the verse numbers, the Haftorah verse numbers, as well as page references for the Humashim that we reference. Clicking Save will store that for Daniel. This is a repeat of the information that you saw on the assignments page. Here we have the morning service prayer setting. If we went from morning service and chose instead of Havdalah service, it would bring up a different set of prayers that you have determined. Imagine that as sort of presets for different requirements for each service, if your synagogue uses different requirements for each service. You can also change the order of how this information appears on this page, and that would correspond to how it appears on the assignments page. This is truly a repetition of the same information that's on the assignments page. The assignments page we feel is a more useful way to get to those three main areas of notes, assignments, and prayer feedback. But the same information can be entered in here as well. If you wanted to add a new prayer to the list, you could simply type that prayer in here. Clicking Save, it would add it to the list. You can do that on the assignments page as well by adding that new prayer here. So if we click New Prayer and click Save, and then scroll down to the bottom of the list, we can see here that new prayer has been added. But you'll note you can't change the order here. You do that back on the prayers page. Speeches and Projects allows you to upload materials and documents for the student to use and to access. So for example, if you had uploaded for Daniel the Sheva Brachot, you could then look at that and would upload that file, and then you could view that file. In addition, you can give notes to the student here in the notes section. Click Save. Those notes are time, date, and user stamped.